We're here with Levi Brackman from
112 LLC and INVOWN.
112 LLC and INVOWN. And I'm going to give you a second to also introduce yourself, right? Let's start by what you do today, what company do you work in, what do you focus on today in real estate?
So in real estate, I buy multifamilies, smaller multifamilies, mainly in central Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a portfolio over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also the CEO of a company called INVOWN, which is a small, very boutique crowdfunding platform.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. So we have a set of 6 questions for this interview. What are some strategies and practices in the current real estate market that you focus on today when looking at acquisitions, finding new properties, especially with what we've seen with, interest rate changes and, the entire market has been through shifts and changes lately. So what are some things that you're focusing on today?
What I'm finding is that deals are really hard to come by, especially in my market.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who I know who are in this market are actually going out of the state to look for deals. Mm-hmm. I'm always afraid of that because I know the markets I know, and real estate is intensely local. Mm-hmm. So I know my markets, and as soon as I go out of other markets, it's actually a completely different product. Mm-hmm. So I don't know it, so I want to continue to focus on the markets that I know. So I'm having to get more creative to find deals. Mm-hmm. So, back in past years, it was relatively easy for me to find deals at, I have a certain buy box, and my buy box, I'm very conservative and relatively aggressive about how I buy the real estate. So it seems like it's much more difficult to find those kind of deals in today's market. So I've had to get more creative. And one of the ways in which I've gotten creative is not necessarily to buy the entire deal.
Okay.
But there are people who own real estate, and instead of actually buying the deal, you actually buy into the deal. Mm-hmm. So you actually take the owners and you can make them minority owners through actually purchasing the equity in the LLC that owns the real estate. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the ways in which we're trying to get creative. So that makes the whole transaction a lot less expensive. You obviously need to do this with a counterparty who there's high level of trust, but those deals can also exist mostly off market. I can't find anything on the market in what I am, my buy box. I don't buy the very large multifamilies. I buy much smaller deals. I actually buy up to 4-5 units. I don't buy above 5 units. And there's a number of reasons for that, which I can get into, but part of my strategy. But they're very difficult to find at a rate which allows you to make any money. So,
Especially with what the market is going through today, I think it's a little bit harder than what it used to be. What are those things when you say aggressively looking for? What are you aggressively looking for in your deals? Like, what are those? Give us like nuggets, 2-3 nuggets of what you're looking for.
So every time I talk to a realtor and I tell them, well, I'm looking for this, they usually put the phone down on me. They say, it doesn't exist in the market. Well, I'm telling you, it can exist. And I'd rather do fewer deals, but within this buy box, and more deals. So what I'm looking for is something that has to cash flow on day one. I don't really do a lot of value add. So it doesn't mean I won't do value add in the future, but it has to positively cash flow from day one. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. Number two, I'm not going to, especially nowadays, I can't pay market. If I'm going to be paying market, then usually, unless there's something else is going on in the deal, but if I'm paying market rate, usually that doesn't cash flow. So the two go together. So there's the cash flow, which you think that people are buying these properties as a business. It needs to make money. But it seems like what's happening is that all the sellers think that they can sell to people some kind of future dream that they're going to have.
Yes. Which
maybe it'll come to fruition, maybe it won't. But, the Talmud says that, something which hasn't yet come into the world is not really a thing. So, you can pay a lot of money for a hope and a dream in the stock market every day, but in real estate, you want to buy what you have. And a lot of people, I think the problem with the market today is you've got a lot of buyers, especially smaller buyers in the market, which I buy in, where all bigger buyers who are willing to put money in investors' money. So you've got other bigger buyers who come into my market and see the same opportunity I see, but willing to do value adds. Mm-hmm. So they'll buy stuff which doesn't cash flow day one, and they're doing value adds. Mm-hmm. And anyway, they're using investors' money, not their own money. So they're, people are using a lot of investors' money. They're making money in fees and other kinds of things. They're going to make money whether it succeeds or not. So you have those guys, and you have a lot of smaller guys who want to get into real estate because they've seen something on Bigger Pockets or watched a YouTube video and are willing to overpay for these kind of assets because they don't know what they're doing. So all of that is going on, and it's still going on
Yeah.
in this space. So it's very hard to find stuff. So you got to get creative.
And I was expecting when I thought about this, I was expecting that the reduction of the 50 basis points from the interest rates is going to really quickly impact the market, but we're still not seeing that. It's weird.
Well, it only happened a week ago.
But they were speaking about this for months, right?
Yeah.
And when interest rate went up, it became some sort of a It supposedly was supposed to become a buyer's market, less than a seller's market, and it never happened. The sellers never let go. Like there was a lot of distressed sales. And then now when it went down 50 basis points, they were talking about this for months. I was expecting to see, I don't know, maybe more sales, maybe just like a stabilization of the pricing, right? Or the valuations of assets. And we haven't seen that. Do you have any thoughts about that? Like why would that happen?
I think that real estate's really it's cyclical. It's like everything else, it's cyclical. And real estate wasn't always in vogue. It became in vogue in the last few years. Everyone's in real estate all of a sudden. But for many years, it wasn't in vogue. No one wanted to touch real estate for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, it goes through these cycles. So I think we're in one of these cycles where a lot of the people who got really enamored by it but don't really understand it, they'll be washed out of the market. I just come here and I see a lot of the players who are here. I look around and I see they're not here this year.
Yeah.
And, I've been now around here around these things for a few years. I've been coming to IMNs now for a number of years. And, people come and go. People get washed out of the market. So it's a long game. Yeah. And like a friend of mine said, there's no obligation to buy real estate. Some people, I need to buy so many deals a year. No, you don't. You buy the deals when they're good deals and they're going to make you money. If they don't, if they're not going to make you money, unless you've got investors breathing down your neck where you have to deploy the capital, and then you need to think about what your business is, because you shouldn't feel the need to deploy capital unless there's a deal which can actually, cash flow and pencil out properly. I don't know. There are people doing deals, of course, but they haven't seen a lot come my way recently.
Yeah, aggressive underwriting. That's your take. Aggressive underwriting on your end. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Actually, it's very, very simple. I have to be. I'm in the head for business. This isn't any kind of charity.
Yeah.
This is. So it has to make money.
I like it. I like that. Okay, so you talked about IMN a little bit. What makes you come back to IMN every time? What about this organization, about the conferences makes sense for you?
I think this is kind of basically the main show in town for real estate kind of conferences, right? Mm-hmm. I think. There are other things going on, but this is the main thing. And you keep coming back here, you meet people obviously there are people who are here 1 year then don't show up, but then there are people who you build relationships with and you see time and time again, and hopefully you do business with. Sometimes you do. I met someone here last year who I ended up doing business with.
I love that.
I think that it's a great organization and they put on really good conferences.
I love that. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure.